We're going to make a vest, and we're basically just going to follow through this whole pattern. We're going to do a few adjustments to it, just a pretty simple pattern adjustment, and then we're basically just going to walk right through this. Hello. We're going to do step by step, and I'm kind of going to go through and explain everything, just from buying our pattern to the final step. So right now I have the Butterick B6339, and it's a vest pattern, and there are 6 different options. So I'm going to show you which one we're going to choose and how to choose the size. So this is the pattern envelope, and so that, again, that's the number. And so on the back right here have our sizes. So if your chest is a 34 to a 36, we're going to do a small. If it's a 38 to a 40, it's a medium. So in this one we're actually going to do a small because my chest is 35, so that's right in the middle of this, and my waist is a 30. So we're going to choose a small. So now we have to figure out how much fabric we need for a small. But before we decide how much fabric we need, we have to decide which style we're doing. So there's 6 different ones: double-breasted, single-breasted, shawl collar, no lapel, lots of pockets. We're actually going to go through and do B, and that is a single-breasted with pockets and a notched collar and lapel. So that's the one that we are going to do. So if we flip our pattern envelope over, it's going to tell us basically everything we need on the back of this envelope. So again, we're doing a small, and this is style B. On the back here, it's going to tell us everything we need for our vest. So at the top, it's going to say our suggested fabrics, which is right in here. And wool is a great option, and that's actually what we're going to be using today. These are the different details that are in the vest. And then we're going to scoot up a little bit. And again, we're doing a small. So that's going to be everything in this column. And we are doing B. So this is how much fabric we need for the outside. So that's called our fashion fabric. It's basically the fabric that everyone sees. So we need 7/8 of a yard, and that's regardless of whether it is 45 inches wide or 60 inches wide. So we have 7/8 of a yard of that, and then up here it tells us we need lining fabric. But it also doesn't say how much in this region, but it actually says see the instruction sheets for lining, interfacing, and notions information. So inside our envelope we have all of our pattern pieces, we have our instruction pages, and this is actually the page that we need. So here it says, again, we're doing a small and B, so we need 1 7/8 yard of fusible interfacing, and that's whether it's 18 inches wide or 20 inches wide. And then all the way down here, if our lining fabric is 45 inches wide, we need 1.5 yards. So, and that is also for B, because we are doing style B. We need 4 3/4 inch, so we are doing B. We need 4 3/4 inch buttons, and down here, we also need 1 sliding buckle. So that's everything we need in regards to our fashion fabric, our fusible interfacing, and our lining fabric. I went to the fabric store and I got our fabric for this project. I got some really nice kind of khaki wool. It's a pretty good weight too. I got way extra just because it was on sale. I got our fusible interfacing, and I have our lining fabric. So we have all of that. I got thread that matches, and I have 2 options for our buckle, and I've not decided on buttons yet. We need to open our pattern envelope again to kind of get all of these things, and it's going to tell us what pieces we need, so we need to find this first page here. So here we have all of the different styles, that are in this envelope. And one thing that I did not mention is on a lot of patterns, they will only have certain sizes in each envelope. This one has small, medium, and large. So once you decide your size, you have to make sure the pattern envelope contains the size that you need, which ours does. So back to this. So we're doing B, so we're gonna slide down a little, and these are all of the pieces that are included in this envelope. But we're only doing one vest, so we don't need all of these pieces. So yet again, we are doing style B. So we need to go through this giant list, and everything that has a B next to it is a piece that we need. So we need a front, and if it doesn't have a letter next to it, that means it is for all of the styles. So we need pieces 1 through 10. Now that we know what pieces we need, 1 through 10, we have to go through this giant fold of paper and find the pieces that we need. So we'll start here. So this is piece number 9, which we do need. And let's zoom out a little. So we need piece number 9. It's right here, and there's different styles of lines on it. So this is for a large, this is for a medium, and this is for a small. And again, we are doing the size small. So we have to go through and find all of our pieces and cut them out along the lines that are this style of dot. So ours is this kind of long dash, short dash, and then when they all come together, that's for all of the sizes. So we have to go through and find pieces 1 through 10 in a size small and cut them out accordingly. Make sure you use paper scissors and not fabric scissors when you're cutting out paper. This is a pretty good example of how these pieces kind of overlap and how we have to be pretty careful. So we're doing a small, which is the smallest one, but it's not always the most inside one. So this is the line we're following, but it actually is now the most outside one. So you just have to be really careful when you're cutting that you're cutting out the right size. There's one thing about this vest that I don't like, and basically the lining for the front is just one big piece. It's the same piece as the fashion on the outside, whereas a lot of vests will have a facing that follows down the front and sometimes into the hem, and we're going to alter this piece to do that. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. What we're going to start off by doing is just making an entire copy of this piece. Now, even though we are altering this piece, there's still some information on here that we need. So one of the really important things is this line, which is our center front line. So I'm actually going to trace that onto this. And then we're also going to need our grain line, which is this one right here. And you might have noticed that there's these little triangles. Basically what those do is they show us where to line our pieces up. So I went through and drew them on this side, and then once I cut it out, I will redraw it back this way. So now that we have our replica of our piece, we need to decide how far in we want our facing to come. And I normally do about half of the width of the shoulder. So this is 5, so we're just going to do 2.5. So 2.5 is going to be right there. And then we need to decide how far in we want it to go this way. So we're gonna do like 5. So basically I'm just gonna draw 5 inches from this edge as far as we can go. and connect that line. And then we need to connect this line up to this line. So you can use one of these, which is just a French curve, and it'll help get that nice curve up to the top. So we have, this is now our facing piece, and this is now our lining, but we also want one across the bottom. So this will be the only piece that's lining. And we're gonna do 2.5 across that as well. So basically what we're doing is we're dividing this one piece into 3 different pieces. But since we're gonna cut it apart, we need our grain line on all 3. So we need to make a line that is parallel to this, that goes onto this piece and this piece. So basically, I'm just gonna measure over. I'm just going to pick a distance that will hit in this and this. We're going to go here. And then we're going to continue that line down into the bottom. So we have one here and one here. So all of our pieces now have a grain line. This is our center front line, which we need to label. And so we have these notches to put our pieces back together, but we need notches on our pieces that we're cutting apart. So we're gonna throw one there, one there, one there, one there, there. And then we're gonna put one here and one here. Before we cut these apart, we need to label what they are. So this is our center front facing, and this is our center front lining, and then this is our center front hem facing. Once we have them all marked, we can go through and cut them out. This is going to be the wool that we have, this is going to be the wool, and this is going to be our lining. Now you might notice that our outside piece has darts in it and our lining does not. So we need to make them match, or else this one is going to be smaller than this one. So we're actually only going to do it on the hem facing, because when this guy is here, these only take out a really, really, really small amount. But at the bottom, down here, it's close to like 1.5 inches or 2 inches. Whereas this we can ease in the lining, and when we get to that point, it will make more sense. But on the bottom, this is going to be that distance plus that distance too big. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay this on top. We're going to mark these distances. And then we're going to connect those dots. And this and this we are just going to get rid of. And it's pretty simple, because we're going to cut on one side and we're going to lay it on the other line, and we're going to cut on this side